Hello, my dear students. In our previous discussion, we were discussing on redox reactions. There, we learnt meaning. Afterwards, we understood what is meant by competitive electron transfer (CET). Which element is more competitive in giving electron and which element is more competitive in accepting electron. Depend upon the donating and accepting electron, they become corresponding negative or the positive ion. So this was the so there was a competition to donate electron and there was a competition to accept electron also. So after that we went to assigning oxidation number, rules for assigning oxidation number. Now today I welcome you all for a second part of redox reactions. In today's discussion, we concentrate on specially types of redox reactions. Already we learned types of chemical reactions in the 10th class. Here, same reactions are studied under the heading types of redox reactions. So first point is what? How to say that they are redox reactions. In redox reactions, first you assign oxidation number for all the what chemicals which are taking part in the chemical reaction. Even you assign oxidation number for the products also. So once you assign, please check whether there is a change in the oxidation number. If there is a change in the oxidation number, then it is a redox reaction. If there is no change in the oxidation number, then you don't call it as a redox reaction, it is a normal reaction. Okay, so that is the main point what we are going to discuss today. Change in the oxidation number means it is a redox reaction, otherwise no. So keeping this point in the mind, totally we have to discuss 5 types of redox reactions. Number 1, combination reactions, decomposition reactions, displacement reactions, double displacement reactions, and disproportionation reactions. Already you know all these terms except the last one. Okay, so now we discuss these types of redox reactions by examples, by taking suitable examples. These are combination reactions. Methane combining with oxygen giving carbon dioxide and water. So I have assigned the ON, oxidation number, -4 +1 0. So to assign ON, you have to refer what I give rules for assigning oxidation number. Okay, right. So after assigning, please see whether they have undergone change or not. Earlier, carbon was in the -4. Now after the reaction, carbon is in the +4. Change in the ON, right? Now hydrogen +1, hydrogen +1, not a problem. O has undergone. O earlier it was 0, now it is -2. So we find in 2 cases where there is a change in the oxidation number. That means this is a redox reaction. Okay. Now second example, excuse me, it was 0 became +4, it was 0 became -2. So it is a redox reaction. So this part you have to check whether there is a change in the oxidation number or not. That part only you want to check in the examination. Second type is what? Decomposition reactions. Potassium chlorate upon decomposition gives potassium chloride and oxygen gas. There is a change in the ON, therefore it is a redox. It is a redox. This is also a redox because sodium was in the +1, here it is 0, so change in the ON, therefore it is a redox. And the last one, decomposition of the potassium permanganate, also redox reaction. So all these are example for redox reactions, comes under the category decomposition redox reactions. Now we are comparing 2 reactions here. One is decomposition of potassium chlorate and another one is decomposition of calcium carbonate. Now let us compare these 2 reactions after assigning oxidation number. Okay, right. +1 potassium, +1 potassium, Cl +5 Cl minus 1, change in the ON. Okay, O minus 2, here O is 0. So it is a redox, right? Okay. Now let us take this example. Calcium carbonate, calcium plus 2, here also plus 2, carbon plus 4, here also plus 4, O before the decomposition minus 2, O after the decomposition minus 2. That means in this example where calcium carbonate has undergone decomposition, we have not seen any change in the oxidation number. It is a decomposition, but it is not a redox. Okay, so because not even a single atom is showing change in the oxidation number in this reaction, therefore decomposition of calcium carbonate is not a redox reaction. It is a decomposition. Okay, so not all decomposition reactions are redox. For redox reaction, the main criteria is change in the ON. Now these are displacement reactions where depend upon the reactivity series, right? So here also you have to keep an eye on change in the ON, and here there is a change. So it is a redox, and redox. What type of redox? Displacement redox reactions. Now please see this one. Okay, sodium with water, magnesium with water. Here we find displacement of hydrogen, displacement of oxygen. All these are non-metals. So in the displacement, there are two categories. One is the displacement of a metal and displacement of a non-metal. Till now, we were discussing displacement of what? Metal. Now, these are examples for displacement reaction where non-metal is undergoing displacement. Okay. Examples I have given 4. One in the case of hydrogen, oxygen, bromine, and the iodine. Please check their respective ON so that you will come to know whether it is redox or not. Double decomposition reaction, also called as a double replacement reactions. Reaction between potassium nitrate and aluminum chloride. So out of these two, which is more reactive? It is potassium. So potassium takes the initiation and goes and displaces the aluminum. So in the same way, aluminum will displace. So it is mutual understanding. Okay, if aluminum goes, then potassium comes. Okay, this is called double displacement reaction. It is double displacement, whether it is redox or not. Potassium plus 1, here it is plus 1, no change in the ON. But let us see in the case of what? Oxygen or nitrogen. So here nitrogen is in the minus 1, here it is also minus 1. Okay, Cl in minus 1, Cl is in minus 1. Okay, so aluminum is in plus 3, this is also in the plus 3. That means this is, whether it is redox or not, please check. Okay, this I leave to you. So you have to check the ON of every atom. Okay, before and the after. Change, redox, no change, not a redox. Okay, so I give only example for you whether it is a normal double decomposition or redox decomposition. Okay, right. Now this is a very new reaction to the 11th class. This is called a disproportionation reaction. Disproportionation redox reaction means in the reaction same element is undergoing increase as well as decrease. In the earlier examples, one was going increase and the other was going decrease. Okay, but here in these reactions, single, only one element, same atom undergoes increase as well as decrease in the ON. Those reactions are called as what? Disproportionation reactions. Best example is decomposition of hydrogen peroxide into water and the oxygen. Okay, here hydrogen is plus 1, oxygen is minus 2. Okay, so here oxygen is minus 2, this is minus 2. Okay, now which one has undergone, which atom has undergone change in the ON, that you have to check it here. See here, this is in minus 1. Okay, why O is in minus 1? O is in the form of peroxide. Please refer to the rules. Normally, in most of the examples, O's ON is minus 2, but here it is minus 1. Only in the case of peroxides or with fluorides, there is a change in the ON in the case of oxygen. Otherwise 99% oxygen is assigned ON equal to minus 2. So here the ON of O is minus 1 because of the peroxide ion. Now this minus 1, here what is the ON of O? Minus 2. Here what is the ON of O? It is a molecule neutral, so it is 0. So same atom, that is oxygen, has undergone minus 1 to minus 2, that is decrease in the ON, and same oxygen from minus 1 to the 0, increase in the ON. That means same atom is undergoing decrease as well as increase. Therefore this example falls under the category disproportionation reaction. These are 3 more examples for disproportionation examples. You have to check which one has undergone change in the ON, decrease as well as increase. I think it is phosphorus here, right? Here it is chlorine and here it is sulfur. So first you assign ON to all in all these 3. Then you will come to know that it is phosphorus which has undergone increase as well as decrease. Same case with chlorine and the sulfur in the 3rd example. Kindly make a assignment or take it as assignment and check it. So till now what we discussed? We discussed about the what is meant by an oxidation, reduction, reducing agent, oxidizing agent, and redox reaction. So to conclude, so this slide will give you the highlights of till now what we discussed. Okay, right. So as per electronic theory, oxidation means loss of electron by any species, and reduction means gain of electron or electrons by any species, whereas oxidant is an acceptor of electron and reductant is donor of electron. This is what as per the electronic theory. As per the oxidation number theory, what is oxidation? Oxidation is an increase in the oxidation number of the element in the given substance, whereas reduction is a decrease in the oxidation number of the element in the given substance. Then what is meant by oxidant? Oxidant means what? It is a reagent which can increase the ON of an element in a given substance, whereas reducing agent is an agent which lowers the ON of an element in a given substance. So at the end, what is meant by redox reactions? So reactions which involve change in ON of the interacting species, they are termed as redox reactions. So this slide is like a highlight. Okay, so because now from next onwards we are going to discuss other part of the redox, that is fractional oxidation number and balancing of redox reactions. Okay, right. So 2 simple chapters we have to discuss. Now this is what fractional oxidation number. Normally ON will be in the whole number, -1, -2, +1, +3, +2 or 0. We have not seen until now oxidation number in the fraction 1/2, 3/4. See what is meant by how they will get the -1 +1, depend upon they lose or gain. If a particular element has undergone loss of 1 electron, then it is given as a +1. If a particular element has accepted the 1 electron, it is given as -1. Okay, so +1 -1 indicates what? Donation or acceptance of electron. But here what is saying, if the oxidation number is in the fraction, that means are they losing electron in the fraction or are they gaining electron in the fraction? Can we gain electron in a decimal 1/2 electron or 3/4 electron? Never. But still he is saying that in some cases oxidation number is fractional. How? Let us discuss by taking examples so that why the in some cases, not in all cases, only in some cases, okay, oxidation number is in the fraction. Okay, very interesting. So let us take examples so that this concept becomes very clear. This is called a paradox of fractional oxidation number. Okay, so it is there. We have to believe it. Okay, it is there. Sometimes we come across compounds having fractional ON. Examples: C3O2. This is called carbon suboxide, where carbon has ON of 4 by 3. Why? If you give this as -2, okay, how many oxygen are there? There are 2 oxygen. So 2 into -2, -4. Okay, if you send -4 this side using the ON rule, so then carbon is how much? Carbon is +4, right? How many are there? Totally 3 are there. So 3 into +4, 12. Okay, so 12 minus 4 equal to 0. Or if you assign carbon as x here, so 3x minus 4 equal to 0. So 3x equal to 4. Then x equal to 4 by 3, which is fraction. That means ON of carbon in this carbon suboxide is 4 by 3. That means whether carbon has lost electrons 4 by 3 like that. Let us check. Same case in this tribromine octoxide, the bromine has ON equal to 16 by 3. And in the case of Na2S4O6, sodium's ON is 2.5. Very interesting. So such cases are not explained on the normal rules. Okay. So these are explained by studying their structures. Okay. So only in such cases where we find ON in fraction, okay, that time first you calculate by the normal method. Okay, so after calculating by the normal method, if you find that ON is in the fraction which is not convincing, then you take the help of a structure. So please study the structure, then from after studying the structure you will understand why it is in the fraction. Okay, right. So now we are going to discuss why these shows ON in fraction. Okay, by understanding their, this is called carbon suboxide, C3O2. This is the structure, C3O2, right? Among the three C's, okay, the central C is very important. Okay, so this is central C exactly in between the two carbons. That means this carbon, if any particular atom is in between the two similar atoms, that time it is taken as this is neither lost or nor gained. Okay, that means if it is lost, it is given as plus. If it is gained, it is given as minus. But this carbon, central carbon, neither lost nor gained, because this carbon is between the two similar carbon, so no pulling, because there are same atoms, no, so equal force, so equal pulling. So therefore this carbon has not undergone any loss or gain, therefore it is assigned as 0. Okay, whereas this carbon has given 2 electrons to this, because O is most electronegative, it will withdraw electron here. Here in this case both are same, no withdrawal. Both are same, no withdrawal of electrons. Only in this case O is more electronegative, therefore it has withdrawn 2 electrons. Therefore this became -2, this became +2. In the same way, this carbon has undergone loss of 2 electrons to this O, therefore this O is -2, this C is +2. Okay, now how to calculate the what ON of carbon? It is the total of all the carbon atoms average by number of carbon atoms. So here it is. Okay, now let us add +2, 0 and +2. How much? 4. And how many carbon atoms are? By 3. So total the ON, it is the algebraic sum of all the carbon atoms present in the structure and divided by number of atoms present in the structure. So it is +4 by 3, 4 by 3. This he has calculated by usual method. This is done by the structure method. So now I think you are convinced why the carbon's ON is in the fraction. It is explained only on the structure ground. Okay, right. Now Br3O8. This is the structure. Okay, this Br between two Br. Okay, neither lost nor gained. But this bromine has lost 2 to the O and 2 to this O. Totally this bromine has lost 4 electrons. But this bromine has lost 6 electrons, 2 to this O, 2 to this O, and 2 to this O. So 6 lost by this bromine, 4 lost by this bromine, and again 6 lost by this bromine. Now let us add all these three. Okay, so plus 6, plus 4, and plus 6. It is 16 by total number of bromine atoms, 16 by 3. I think you are convinced. Why? ON is in the fraction. This is the normal method. This is the structure method. Okay. Now last one. S4O6 2 minus ion. Okay. And this is the structure of S4O6 2 minus ion. Right. So you have to practice the structure. Structures will not be given in the examination. Right. So this is S between two S. Okay. No other attachment. So neither gained nor lost, assigned as 0. This sulfur between two other sulfurs. So neither lost nor gained, therefore assigned 0. Whereas this S, left S, has lost 2 here, 2 here, and 1 here. Totally 5. So plus 5. In the same way, this sulfur has lost 2 electrons to this O, 2 electrons to this O, and 1 electron to this O, making this sulfur as plus 5. Now let us add plus 5, 0, 0, plus 5. It is 10, and total number of sulfur atoms. So 10 by 4. So 10 by 4 equal to what? 2.5. That's why sulfur is in 2.5 ON, which is not convincing, but it can be convinced only by structure. Very good. Now see, let us calculate. So now fractional oxidation number is over. Now we'll go to which part? Second part. How to balance a chemical reaction, especially the redox reactions. For this, let us understand how to calculate ON. Cr2O7 minus 2, dichromate ion. Okay. Now how to calculate the ON of Cr? So as per the rule, sum of the total ON is equal to charge on the ion. We don't know the Cr. So 2Cr plus 7 into minus 2O equal to minus 2. Simplification, Cr use plus 6. In the same way, SO3 minus 2. It is an ion. Algebraic sum of all the ON is equal to charge on the ion. Okay, sulfur you don't know as it is. O we don't know, minus 2. So 3 into minus 2 equal to charge on the ion. So after simplification, S is in the plus 4 state. ON of S is plus 4. In the same way, ON of S in the sulfate ion is plus 6. Okay, yeah. Now MnO4 minus 1, same rule. Mn equal to plus 7. MnO2, this is not an ion, this is a molecule. So in the molecule what? Algebraic sum of all the ions equal to 0. That is a molecule. If it is an ion, charge on the ion. If it is a molecule, neutral, 0. So Mn we don't know. Mn as it is, 2 into minus 2 equal to 0. So simplify, Mn minus 4 equal to 0. Therefore Mn equal to plus 4. In the same way, this is an ion, total charge on the ion, and bromine is in the plus 5 state. Okay, right. Now, whenever we want to go for the balancing of RR, one important point to remember. Okay, so how to balance oxygen atoms and the hydrogen atoms in the redox reactions? Other parts we can do it. Only we face a little problem in balancing number of O and number of H. For this, one rule is there. So that depends upon in which medium that redox reaction is taking place. By chance, if the redox reaction is taking place in the neutral or acidic medium, that time balance O by adding sufficient number of water molecules on the side deficient in O. Afterwards, balance H by adding sufficient number of H plus on the side deficient in hydrogen. Okay, this is for what? This is for balancing H and O if the reaction is in the neutral or acidic medium. If the reaction is taking place in the basic medium, that time balance O by adding sufficient number of OH minus ion on the side where shortage of O is there. Afterwards, balance H by adding 1 H2O for each H atom needed on the side deficient in hydrogen atom. At the end, now add an equal number of OH minus ion to the opposite side. So in this way, we will balance the redox reactions by two methods, namely oxidation number method and the half reaction method, keeping in mind these 2 points. Okay, so in our next class we actually take the redox reaction examples and will balance it. Till now, have a nice time and thank you and all.